You're listening to Dairy Voice by Dairy Business News, a podcast exclusively for the dairy industry.
One of our sponsors of the Dairy Voice podcast is National DHIA. NDHIA ensures information accuracy and represents their members' interests. They are the direct voice for the dairy information industry. To find out more, go to dhia.org.
What's the largest part of your cow's diet? Your forage. But every farm is different, and so is every ration. Whatever your crop, whatever your conditions, there's a Forage Mate inoculant for that. The Forage Mate inoculant portfolio delivers a wide range of proven performers, each uniquely formulated to maintain superior standards and consistency to help your cows reach their full potential. Flex to your forage goals at foragemate.com or contact your Diamond V Forage Mate representative today.
Well, we welcome you to this podcast for Showbox Sires with an exciting announcement about a new project we're working with through our partners Worldwide Sires and Worldwide Sires in New Zealand. They are excited about the Showbox Sires product line and have come up with an innovative approach to selling our product in the country of New Zealand. So today we're putting together the podcast and information session for the introduction of Showbox Sires going to New Zealand through Worldwide Sires New Zealand, but through the distributorship of Lawwal Holsteins, the Singh family from there in New Zealand that will be handling all of our product. We're very excited about this and look forward to great things in the country of New Zealand for Showbox Sires to come. In the podcast today, or the information, you'll hear from several people involved in the project. Craig Robinson from New Zealand Worldwide Sires will give a bit of an introduction. Mike Duckett and myself from Showbox Sires, and then Arjun and some of his family from Lawwal Holsteins will also fill us in on some of their plans for the business. So I think we're going to kick it off with Mike Duckett telling our listeners a little bit about how we got going.
Well, it's certainly a pleasure to start this partnership in New Zealand. Just a few things on how Showbox Sires started. Tim and I have been in partners with some great show cows, and with Tim's past in the AI business, we came together and we've realized that there was a part of the market that was show cows using genomics to make some bulls that people would have a lot of interest in using. And that's the reason we started Showbox Sires.
So yeah, Mike, that talks a little bit about our business and why we started Showbox Sires. I think another important thing for the listeners and customers to know is the partnership that already exists between Showbox and Lawwal Holsteins. And it's a fun relationship. And Mike and I, kind of laugh about how this global cattle breeding world has gotten pretty small. Mike works with great people in New Zealand currently to provide genetics for their program. Certainly our product line and our cow families are well known there. But we also started a project with Lawwal on a couple animals. Arjun and I bought a daughter of Footloose a year ago or a year and a half ago, a heifer called Fancy Like that sent some eggs down to Australia, and they've sold some beautiful daughters of her. She since calved and is a very good full sister to one of our bulls, Flash, at Showbox Sires. But even more exciting, we then at the Lawwal sale last spring, Mike and I acquired half interest in a really exciting heifer, Ballerina, who at the time was the number one type heifer in the world. And we have made embryos that have been implanted in New Zealand. And we have also made embryos that we brought back to the United States to try to make a fun bull for Showbox Sires from Ballerina, which interestingly goes back to the Gold Barbara cow family, a family that Mike and I both worked with many different branches of. So the partnership's been underway, so this is a natural progression to do this.
So here at Showbox Sires, even though we are more of a show bull kind of program, we do understand with the change in facilities and the need for cows to be moderate in stature, obviously have great udders and milk with great components. We really want to go with those one name cows that use the bulls to lower the stature down, make cows that are user friendly for breeders around the world.
And Mike, I think one thing you always tell people, you crawl under cows most every day and milk them. What are the traits that you want in your cows every day? Because I know that makes a big difference. Again, I've milked cows recently as well, and I've been in the AI business 30 years. What are some of the other traits that you look for at Duckett Holsteins or when you're looking to buy a show cow?
As growing up as a kid, we had a commercial dairy in North Carolina, and we still look for the same things today as we did then. We want cows that have strength, cows that have width, great udders, and no matter what the situation is, cows have got to milk. You get a cow that's correct in her conformation, you're building a cow that's going to last for a long time, cows that are profitable for several lactations. And we understand that the facilities have changed over the years. There's probably not as many tie barns and stuff, but we feel that if you have cows that are functional for everyone, it's cows that are going to go on and do great things for you.
Hey there, after you've finished enjoying this podcast, might I recommend you join me, Tim Hammerich, and our guests on Clarity at Work from Zoetis. We'll be talking genetics and their place on the dairy. You've got a seat at the table as we discuss innovations, what's next for the industry, and more.
I have to find the value in everything that I do, and I still find value in Clarified Plus, so we're going to continue to use it.
Just search for Clarity at Work wherever you listen to podcasts. Once you finish with this podcast, of course.
And we joke a lot, Mike, that the cows we want for Showbox Sires are going to look good on the outside, but look good on the inside too, with udder health and fertility and traits like that. Tell our listeners a little what you think. I love your term about athletic cows and what that means and why you think it's so important.
You know, athletic cows to me is a cow that they're not getting hurt. They can survive in a free stall, a tie stall. They get out and move. They can go to the pastures, and that's important. And in a lot of countries that do a lot of grazing, and as we're kicking off this partnership in New Zealand, those cows have got to be able to get out and walk. Cows with a lot of width, and they got great feet and legs. They've got to walk a lot of miles and get back to that parlor and make milk. It's important for all of us as breeders.
Well, with that in mind, Arjun and his crew have asked us to hit on a few of our key bulls, Mike. That's probably our favorite thing to do, is to talk a little bit about our bulls. But I get to lead off our bull parade with Hellion, who kind of fits everything we want in the program. The bull, as we say, passes the paper test. He looks great for all his type traits, looks great on production, and he comes from a cow family that's modern yet prominent. We love it because both the closest dams in his pedigree, Days, who is the dam of Dropbox, recently scored 95. And then his own dam is Doc 8784, who was a 96-point cow. Both cows that are, quote, at the top of their business, at the top of the business for sure. So Hellion is a bull that we've kind of been a flagship sort of bull for us, because he provides two great cow families and all the traits that we really want.
And the other bull, that probably one that we're extremely excited about, because it was a mating that Tim and I wanted to do from the very beginning of Doc 8784, is Image. He's a bull that he brings the best of Doc, because she always brings lots of milk and that width, and she always has high type. You add Sidekick to her, and Image to be 900 pounds of milk and plus on components and good DPR, and a bull that even transfers to Canada with conformation. A bull that I think you're getting the best of both Doc and Sidekick put together.
And boy, we've used a lot of him the past month on our best cows, haven't we, Mike? Most every one of our good cows has had him, would you say?
Yeah, it's going to be fun to see those calves hit the ground. And we just worked Image's full sister this last week. She's a tremendous heifer, all black, lots of width, just exactly what you would think of the mating.
Well, the next bull that's been a flagship for what we want to do is the son of Footloose, our two-time World Dairy Expo champion cow. Everybody knows the Footloose story, and surely Mike and Julie were fortunate to have Footloose's granddam, who won them 2 World Dairy Expo championships too. So I don't know that there's many cows in the breed that or many pedigrees in the breed that would give you 297-point, two-time World Dairy Expo champions right there in the first 3 spots of a pedigree. Flash is the Tattoo son. Tattoo, a great bull bred by the Ducketts and from one of their favorite cows, Treasure, that family. And boy, these Flash calves are fabulous. We're going to talk a little more about a sale Mike and I are about to pack the trailers for next week in Maryland that has more Flashes than anywhere we've seen, Mike, and we'll talk a little more about them. But the exciting thing for Flash is it's such a complementary mating, Footloose and Tattoo. And there are 2 full sisters to this bull that are already max scored 89 in the States. And then one of the full sisters is the Fern Heifer that was the winning milking yearling at Madison this year. Mike, you and I have had a lot of smiles about the fact the first class in the ring at Madison in the cow show was won by a Footloose daughter. And the last class of the day, the production cow class, was won by Footloose. Have you seen that happen before?
I've never seen it. And I think March 15th, when this sale comes about, I think the one thing, it looks like Footloose's family is going to breed great because the Flash calves we've seen are pretty outstanding. We also added a couple of polled and homozygous polled bulls to our lineup. King Me and Hazard PP. King Me, a bull that the Lestoris son, goes back to some great breeding, Delta, Mogul, Uno, a great cow family that we brought into the program specifically for a bull that could be used on a lot of lambda blood, and a bull that's nice milk, over 3 points of type, positive DPR, A2, BB, bull that I feel could be used in a lot of different situations. Hazard PP, a bull that he's Luster P son from a cow that I had here that we'd bought after she won her class at the National Convention show in Canada. It was a great cow. It's a different branch back to the H's, but a cow that was a great uddered cow, a bull that he's going to be PP, so he's going to take all the horns off. But both bulls that you could use on a lot of lambda and dock blood. So we thought we would bring them into our program.
They've sold extremely well and are quite popular because of their unique pedigrees and the fact that they're one's polled, one's homozygous polled, and a little different pedigree. And then the other bull, Mike, you and I just had the luxury of seeing his whole cow family in Quebec 10 days ago when we were there, is Lactour, a bull we got from the master breeders at Comstar Holsteins in Quebec. It goes right back to the Laurie Chic family, the family that literally changed Comstar and built all those beautiful facilities and built all the beautiful cows that Comstar is known for. So Lactour is sired by the popular new bull Bullseye, and his dam is a really, really nice tropic cow that's still in the herd. She's fresh, halfway through her 3rd lactation, and just went 93 points there in Canada. And Mike and I saw her, her Parfact daughter, and her Bullseye granddaughter, 3 of the nicest young cows we've seen in a while. So we left there all fired up. Mike, your thoughts on Lactour and what things looked like at Comstar?
So I think Lactour, when we did our podcast with Mark Comtois and Steve, they hit on balance and balance breeding and going back and forth with great bulls. And I think this bull, he's not plus 20 for confirmation, but he's solid. He's 14, and his proof is just exactly what the Comstar breeding program's been for years. And I think that's when you look at those 3 generations that you and I seen there at Comstar, it's exactly what you'd expect from this bull.
And about the time our product line is launched in New Zealand, we'll have new pictures of Lactour's dam and sisters and all that. Mike, people will love them because they're the kind of cows that can work anywhere. Mike, I'm going to let you finish our bull talk because Arjun insisted we talk about what's coming in the future. That's all anybody wants to talk about, what the fun ones are for the future. So, to make Arjun happy, we'll do that. But we, Mike and I both worry that you never know how semen production is going to go and exporting and all that. We are excited about our lineup for 2025 and a bunch of new bulls. But Mike, you got a couple favorites.
So as we're getting really close to releasing a bull called Venmo. He is a Lambda son from Alligator Vibe, who was junior champion at World Area Expo. Young cow that max scored 87 in Canada, really fresh as a 2-year-old, and she'll be getting fresh again this next year with hopes that we'll all see her in the fall. And then obviously back to Caught Your Eye, a cow that you couldn't ask her to do any more. She's been All-American. She's made great daughters, and it goes back all the way back to Black Rose through Lexington, and great cow family, and a bull that, as we say, passes the paper test because enough production, great type, balanced, proof all the way through. And then the other one that we're really excited about is Dax. He's a bull. He's a red bull. He's a heat wave. Probably from one of the better young 2-year-olds that's standing in our barn right now is Ranger 1133, cow that was very popular as a heifer for embryos. And he's a red bull that's 1,400 of milk, almost 3 points of type, and great functional traits all the way through. A bull that I think is going to be extremely hot when we release him. He's, I think, probably midsummer. He should be getting close to release. That's just a couple. You hate to go too far forward, not knowing how the production's going to go, but those are a couple of our favorites that are coming real soon.
And we could go on for hours, Mike, talking about the next 8 or 10 bulls that we have. That gives our listeners a bit of a preview. The other thing Arjun asked us to do, Mike, and I'm going to let you do this. We could talk about the show cows we've owned together and how we got them and the ones that got away and all that. We could tell Showbox stories forever. And, you know, one of the things that we pride ourselves on, Mike, is we're breeders of cattle and promoters of cattle, just like many of you that are listening. You know, I think maybe how you and I got started in this together with the Footloose story would be interesting to our listeners.
A few years ago, we decided we'd never had a sale here at Duckett Holsteins at the farm. And a lot of people had been saying, hey, you should have a sale at the farm. A lot of people want to come. And when we decided that, we wanted to have a special sale. So I reached out to Tim and the Alliance. We're going to manage our sale. We go way back. We started looking for a few consignments, and obviously with the ones we had here. But I wanted to go back to Frosty because Frosty's the one that got us started, a cow that kind of put us on the map. I had fell in love with Footloose as a junior 3-year-old in the COVID years in Ohio when she won out there. And I was judging New York Spring Show, and I went to see her dry. And I asked for her as a consignment. We were going to wait. And so Tim and Sharon went to see her fresh. And I got the phone call. We're going to get her or we're going to buy her. We ended up buying her that day. We said, okay, well, now the hard part is we liked her so much is now we got to offer her for sale. It worked out great. We ended up partners with Vieira's. You couldn't ask the cow to do any more than what she's done for us. She went back to Expo year after year. 4 times she's been either grand or reserve. Made great daughters, obviously with the one that won Madison this year, but she's got a few special ones that's going to surface this year. That partnership got Tim and I to thinking we should do more. It's been a great partnership for us. We have a lot of the same visions of how we want to do things and the kind of cows we like. And we like cows that have purpose. And that's what pushed the whole Showbox idea is the kind of cows that we like are the kind of cows that other people want to use in their breeding programs. And that's when we started talking about the whole Showbox thing. And now when we buy a good young cow, we want to make sons of hers available to people around the world. And we want to include people from around the world. That's how the partnership with Arjun bought embryos from other countries. That it's an exciting partnership. And even if you take the cattle away from it, we enjoy being with Tim and Sharon, and our kids enjoy being with Tim and Sharon. So it's been a extremely good partnership, and we look forward to just growing it. That's how Showbox kind of got started.
Yeah, a lot of miles and a lot of dollars and a lot of laughs along the way. It is. It's amazing. I just wrote a piece for Comestar about how one cow can change a life. And I would say, Mike, for us, Footloose, certainly Frosty changed your lives, but Footloose has changed the Abbott and Duckett family's lives because she's brought all this together for us. So it's a lot of fun. The next phase in what we're doing at Showbox, we can't wait to start showing the world what the daughters of these bulls look like. And so it's been a long 9 months since we started putting semen in cows, Mike, to get these daughters of our bulls. But next week, we're off to a sale in Maryland in the United States, Peace and Plenty Farm, a family that has bred one of the greatest breeding type families in, I think, the world today, the Juby family. It's an amazing story. It started with an old Clipper and went to an Astrojet. And then the Astrojet had an outside, and the outside had a Dundee, and the Dundee had a Stormatic, and the Stormatic had an Atwood, and all those great bulls all mixed in there. And one of the families Mike and I have invested heavily in is this Juby family. Peace and Plenty Doc Juby 16 is the dam of Jinx, one of our most popular young bulls that we haven't even talked about yet. And then Mike and I also bought a beautiful young 3-year-old sidekick Juby 36 from the same cow family. And what gets us excited is the way these people breed cows, and they've been a great partner of Showbox Sires. So Mike and I, along with Chris Hill and the Schwartzbeck family, are running a big sale on March 15th at Peace and Plenty Farm in Maryland. There'll be 40 of Mike and my best animals that we own. There'll be 30 of the best from Peace and Plenty, and then another 30 of consignments of the greatest cows in North America. But the real exciting part to us is we will have a display of daughters sired by Showbox bulls. There'll be acetylenes, there'll be flashes, there'll be Hendrixes, a fun group of daughters. So again, about the time this product line is released in New Zealand, we'll have a lot of footage and a lot of pictures of these pretty calves. Mike and I have seen them, and we're excited. I think we will leave you with that. We certainly are excited. I believe the first semen should arrive in New Zealand for us in mid-March, and we'll let Arjun and his crew talk a little about the process. We would conclude our part of this by saying how excited we are to work with industry icons like Lawwal and the family that has developed Lawwal Holsteins. Anywhere you go in the world, they know who these people are, and that's why Mike and I are just thrilled to be joining them. So we look forward to great things in New Zealand. So now that Mike and I have outlined some things about Showbox Sires and our partnership with Lawwal, we've asked Arjun Singh from Lawwal team to come give us a little bit of the view of they want to do with Showbox Sires in New Zealand.
Lawwal is thrilled to bring Showbox Sires to New Zealand. Our key focus is to provide NZ breeders and farmers with type size from some of the superstar cows in our industry, such as Footloose, the $2 million Doc, and Doc Juby 16. But in saying that, Showbox's lineup of size can cater to all markets, whether it's polled, red, commercial, and most definitely high top. Lawwal is excited to have Showbox side calves due this spring by Jinx, Delian, Heritage P, and Flash, just to name a few. Showbox size semen will be arriving in NZ later this month. Get in touch to claim yours, as we know there's a high demand worldwide and there may be a lead-up time. We're excited about this partnership with Mike and Julie Duckett, Tim and Sharon Abbott, and the entire worldwide size team. The website is now live. Head on over to see the size, females, plus everything else you need to know about Showbox. The directory is now also live. Team Lawwal looks forward to catching up with you all soon.
So we thank you for listening and appreciate your time, and we will look forward to having you join us on future Showbox Sires Evolution of the Great Cow on Dairy Business.